Now it's time for Ask the Expert. Many children and adults aren't getting enough vitamin D, and it could lead to serious health consequences.
Especially for African Americans, who are 10 times more vitamin D deficient than Caucasians. Joining us this afternoon, registered dietitian Laurie Meyer. Why are people so low in vitamin D, and why does it matter? Why is it so important?
Well, you know, vitamin D, it's the sunshine vitamin.
Right.
Essentially, the skin will make vitamin D from UVB rays from the sun, and so many people are avoiding the sun. First of all, we have a lot of work indoors, and so people aren't out of doors naturally, and then we use a lot of sunscreen, and I'm not telling people not to use sunscreen, but the fact is, if you're using sunscreen, you cannot manufacture the vitamin D. Food sources of vitamin D are pretty rare. There aren't a lot of foods, and we aren't consuming a lot of those foods. Combine that with the fact that if you are obese, your vitamin D requirements seem to go up. You seem to have a more difficult time even with it. If you have any intestinal disorders, colitis, celiac disease, you go up. If you're vegetarian, you probably are going to be more deficient. If you have a dairy allergy, you're going to be more deficient. So there's a lot of reasons, I think, why we're seeing deficiency. It's important because researchers are linking this with so many more diseases. And I put together a list, and it's a long list, and the reason I wanted to do this topic, I was telling you, the last couple of weeks I am getting so many research papers on linking vitamin D with so many of these illnesses. We know that it's been historically good for preventing rickets and osteoporosis, but we're also seeing muscle weakness, and we're finding in particular elderly people, the reason that they're falling many times is because they're low in vitamin D. Diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, are linked with low vitamin D levels. Heart disease, if you're vitamin D deficient, you have an increased risk for both heart disease and cancer. Skin cancer included, also prostate, breast cancer, colon cancer. All of the autoimmune disorders seem to be linked with vitamin D. So multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis and lupus are all going to be linked with low vitamin D levels. Depression, this is the new one that just came out this week, Alzheimer's disease.
Really?
They're finding critical low vitamin D levels really increase Alzheimer's. Kidney disorders. Asthma was also, they found that children with the lowest vitamin D levels have the highest rates of asthma, psoriasis. I mean, the list goes on. And so I think that this is something that's really, really important. If we're not able to spend time out of doors, we really have to look at other options.
So the question is, then, how much vitamin D do we need, and how do we know we're getting enough of it?
Well, we don't always know, and this is very controversial. Recently, vitamin D levels requirements have increased. They were only 200 to 400 international units. They recently have increased to 600 under the age of 70 and 800 over the age of 70, but a lot of researchers still feel this is too low, and they feel that we should be getting somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 international units. Now, the chief sources are going to be fatty fish, but you know how much fish you have to eat to get that? You have to have maybe 6 to 10 ounces of fish a day, or 8 to 10 cups of milk a day. So really what we're looking at, most people probably are going to need a supplement of vitamin D. You want to look for the D3 supplement. Talk to your doctor, though. Find out, get a blood test, find out if you're deficient so that they'll know how much that you need to take.
All right, Laurie, thanks so much. Got a question for our experts? Email them, asktheexpert@todaystmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. The number 967-5253.